Today we are introducing the LegalEase Deceased Estates software. Here you see the main screen of LegalEase that shows you a list of your current estates. You'll see here we have 2 sample estates. If you want to work on this estate, you double-click on the estate, or click the Open button at the top, and then it will open up the screen where you'll specify all the information regarding the estate. On the General tab you specify the basic information about the estate, including the estate number, the Master's Office, and the division of the High Court. Here we will specify the bank account details for the estate bank account. Based on these banking details, LegalEase will create a cash book for the bank account. In the cash book you can capture the bank statements for income and expenditure and cash reckon purposes. On the second tab you enter details of executors. And then on the 6th tab, we have the details of the deceased. First names, surname, ID numbers, date of birth, etc. Of great importance would be the date of death, which has to be specified to enable you to correctly generate an L&D account. And type of marriage selected will affect how your L&D account is generated. And on the 7th tab, you would specify if there's a will, the date of the will, and where it was signed. If you don't specify the will details, then LegalEase will assume it's an intestate estate. Then you go ahead to tab 8, where you see a list of your heirs, that is, the beneficiaries, in the estate as specified in the will. This is where you load the beneficiaries. You can see in this particular case, we have 4 children each receiving a quarter of the residue of the estate. If you go into one of those heirs, you'll see under the Inheritance tab, we've specified 1/4, 1/4, which means 25% of the residue. If there's a cash legacy beneficiary, then you would tick the cash legacy option. And then you would specify the amount here. We've also got a cash legacy to a charity. If I double-click on that heir, you will see it's marked as a charity. The beneficiary is the SPCA, and under the inheritance there's a cash legacy of 80,000 rand. Then we see the tab for immovables, the fixed property in the estate. In this case, we have 2 items. You'll see that when you click Insert, you may either select a conventional property, such as a house or farm, or a sectional title property, a townhouse or apartment. Here we have a sectional property. The prompts on the screen are slightly different depending on which one you select. In this case, with a sectional property, you would fill in all of this detail such as section number, scheme name, plan number. Then here, you specify if it's a special bequest in the will. Here you select who is to receive this property in terms of the will. We have the daughter specified. Now, on the values page, you'll see this is where you specify the value that goes through to the L&D account. If the property was sold, then you would complete it here. Then we go ahead to the Movables tab. In this case, we've got a vehicle that was sold. We have jewelry that was awarded, a trailer that was sold, the household furniture and effects, which were awarded to in this estate. to the residue heirs. Here the furniture was actually sold as well as awarded. We have shares loaded. You'll see when you click Insert. It asks you if it's a movable or shares. In this particular instance, we selected shares. And you'll see that the questions for shares are slightly different to movables. We've said there are 10 shares in Tiger Brands. And the value was 65,000 and they were fully paid up shares, and this was a special bequest to the trust. Under Claims and Policies, you will see, for instance, here's a Sanlam policy. That was collected. These are the proceeds of the policy and it was collected as cash. We have another policy that was paid directly to someone. So it won't come into your L&D, it will simply come into your estate duty as a deemed asset. You'll see here Mary was selected as the beneficiary. In terms of liabilities, there are a couple of them. For instance, the SARS liability. Specify the value and there's a specific tick box for income tax if applicable. And for instance, here's funeral costs. So once you specified all the assets and liabilities in the estate, you can go ahead to produce your L&D. But before you can do that, you have to click on the L&D account button. And here you would specify the description of the L&D and the date of the account. It will calculate the master's fees, which is limited to our 600 because the date of death was 2008. The executive fees percentage defaults to 3.5%, but you can obviously change it if you negotiated a specific fee percentage, and here you would calculate it based on 3.5%. Generally you would leave this recalculate automatically option ticked, because then it will adjust your master's fees and an executor's fees based on the value of your assets. Now we can save this information and then we can go ahead and generate the L&D account. The quick way to do so is to press Ctrl L on the main screen. Highlight the estate first and press Ctrl L. Confirm the date and then the program will generate the L&D account for you. There we go. That's your immovable property. Next, you'll see your immovables and your shares, followed by your claims in favor and your liabilities. You'll see that you might have to change the page breaks to prevent the situation of split paragraphs. I'll show you now. Click on the Edit button at the top. We just move the page breaks, shown in red, to before that heading. There we go, all sorted. Here's your recap statement and there's your distribution account. If you go to the last page and click on Back, you will see the estate duty addendum. Looks like the estates is dutiable and there's the duty payable and then also the apportionment of duty because of the deemed asset, being the insurance policy paid direct. Once you're happy with it, you can click on the print icon and then make PDF. The program will save the document in the document repository. If you click on the document repository button at the top, you'll see the document is there. There's the document we just generated. You can open the document in the PDF view of your choice. There we go. Or you can, for instance, email it from here. LegalEase will open up Outlook and attach it to an email message. In terms of the cashbook, the cashbook entries for income and expenditure. If you click on the cashbook button at the top, you'll see there's your estate bank account cashbook. You'll see these are the entries in the bank statement. The entries shown in blue will go through to the income and expenditure account section in the L&DAC to be continued.